Northern Lights. Okay. I'm trying to tell them it's the same shit over and over, you know what I mean? Shit, it's the same old grizzly. Make gold and lay low and pray that the jakes won't frisk me. Grinding, that's why I stay so busy. Knew if I keep it real, then these fakes gon' diss me. I ain't mad, I just take it in stride.
This is Terminill, Northern Lights from Flatline Studios with Philip Drummond. I'm just here to show you all my lab, basically what I got going on, how I make the tracks, and how I do my thing, you know. This is my setup. I use Fruity Loops mostly, but I started with the MP, so I had to get the MPD just so I could have the drum pad feel. I typically actually don't use it that often. I'll put samples on it and trigger samples on it if I'm in the mood to do it, but usually, well, honestly lately I haven't done a lot of sampling. Over here I use this M-Audio 88 MIDI controller for all the synths. And then I just picked up this Roland Juno Alpha 2 for it's like $150, and I've been using it a lot actually lately in the beats because the synths on it are nasty, and you can program some dope leads and bass sounds with it. Over here I got my records, which lately have been collecting a lot of dust, but I have gone through them all. Gone through all these for samples. This soul stuff, rock stuff, all kid stuff down there. That's the only stuff left that I haven't sampled yet. And here's the booth. We do all the vocals, some guitar, got the bongos, all manner of percussion. Got those in Mexico, got that in Guatemala. Got the got the cup full of pennies. Put that under the snare drum. Crack. Yeah, man, we just do whatever it takes to make the track hot.
What kind of mic you rocking?
That's the blue baby bottle. I got that, and then we got the, oh, it's gone. This is my chord mess. Every producer should have this. We got the Shure mic for the drums and whatnot. Any type of live stuff.
Is that SM57?
Yeah, 58.
What kind of effects are you rocking?
Well, this is just a Digi for Pro Tools, a Digi 02 rack. This is my first preamp. It's a real cheap one. It's a Focusrite. It's like $150 or something. Now I just use it to run my headphones through. And then this is a Great River pre. Not a lot of people know about this pre, but if you look it up, it's super dope. Has a nice clean sound, and anything you heard recorded at my spot in the last couple years is from that preamp. This is just a turntable and the mixer that I use for sampling. It's not even a Techniques. I don't need a Techniques because I'm just throwing the needle on the record and hitting play. And a Vestax mixer. Some Mackie HR824 speakers. These speakers, in my opinion, are the truth. They've helped step up my mixes a lot since I got them. Everything that I have in here that bangs, it always bangs in the car and the club after I mix it in here.
So how are you rocking your drums? Do you do most drum programming? You use loops? How do you do your drums?
Really, I have a ton of breaks, but I'm too lazy to chop them, and I usually don't like how it turns out when I use breaks, just because I don't know, it loses that groove of the break, and I don't want to loop the break. So typically I just use one shots, and I'll layer like 4 kicks, 4 snares, usually 1 or 2 hi-hats, and then shaker, whatever the track needs. And I just layer the drums based upon the sound. So if you have like a real boomy kick, and then a nice like mid-range kick, and then maybe the head sound that's on the drum, I put that in there to give it because I still want it to sound like a kit cohesively, which is why anyone chops breaks, because you got that kit sound. But
where do you get your drum sounds from?
All over, online. I have ones that I've sampled off records, and if I sometimes I'll just test myself and be like, okay, today I'm gonna use a break because I want a beat that has a break sound to it, so I'll use a break. Or if I happen to sample a record and there's a break in the beginning of the sample. I'll use the drums in the sample, and then I typically layer shots over it, but then I can at least say that I used everything out of the record to make the track. This one's I chop the drums out of the sample and put...
You chop the drums what?
Chop the drums out of the sample and use the sample, and I put synth over the top.
Vancouver, Washington, stand up.
What don't you fucking understand? Think for 1 fucking second. The fuck are you doing? Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur.
That fire?
That's the shit right there. From here. Sample.
On the rolling?
Right here, nigga. This shit right here, nigga. Right here, this shit, nigga. This shit here, nigga. It's just the color like, nigga.
Damn.
That's some of the shit I made with Sonny. He's in Northern Lights with me. We're a production team. We're working on an album right now called Cut 'Em or Pay 'Em, and we got just such a list of people on it, bro. Everybody from the Northwest, pretty much. We got Cool Nuts, Maniac Lope, Kenny Mac, Mikey Vegas, Luck One, T Soprano, Braille, Surge Severe, Liv Warfield, RJ, Tony Hill, Theory Has It. We're gonna get Illa J on there, Pricey, Double O. We got Grinch from Seattle. Punchline from New York. He lives in Atlanta now, but typically people know him as being from New York. This cat Playboy Trey, who's in Atlanta, who's super dope. You should look him up. He's real lyrical, but he's still got that South flavor. This other singer named Caitlin Cartier. We got Element from Second Family, who's up in Tacoma, and Knuckles, who's in Tacoma. And we're probably going to do about 4 more tracks. This one's called Hungry, and it's with Braille and Surge Severe and Theory Has It, and Liv Warfield's on the hook. Like, a lot of dudes in the town have been kind of talking shit about us because we make commercial style beats, but that doesn't mean that we don't like real hip hop. Like, I'm going to show you this track, and it sounds like a real hip hop track. And we chopped a sample, and we did the bass over and all that, just classic hip hop shit, put drums on it and whatnot. But really, like, the lane that hip hop is going in is not this lane anymore. Even though this type of music is dope, we're still trying to get in where people are going in the industry. So we put our flavor on it, but there's little aspects of commercial music that you need to put in your beats for a broader audience to want to get on them. But this is still some feel good shit. I love it. I bang it with the windows down.
What's an MC gotta do to get some dough, y'all? I guess I go out and rock another show, y'all. But I know I can't do it round here. Why is that? Cause they already seen me 10 times this year. I booked the show up north, but no one promoted it. So I was feeling empty-handed when the show was over with. Took a trip down south to sunny side CA, trying to tell them folks, yo, I got freestyles for days. I'm showing up for the love of it, showing off. With the hardcore rap, never blowing off. Before the show, I'm at home eating, stroking off, soaking off the stage. Cause it's my turn to blow the spot. My belly is full, hungry hippo with the hippo P. Y'all know me, team player like Ginobili. I get the dough like Mobley, but sometimes I feel like I'm rapping for gummy bears and puppets.
No matter what they say, they know I'm going higher. And they realize my heart and soul, the one you admire. That's about me, cause they all know. New city and stage, and I'm back out on the road. Watch me go.
I want some power to the people. If you dream it, you could be it. Like turn it to reality, or Martin Luther King it. I choose my words wisely when I speak upon a million. Turn your speakers on, I'm feeling like the start of new beginnings. If the heart is truly in it, the art is truly vivid. I'm just trying to play my part and show these youngins what's the difference. Knowledge with the wisdom, following your instincts and following your vision. No matter what your friends think, yeah. You could be yourself, take the keys to the lock and free yourself. That's the A to the B, now do you see yourself? I know my A, B, C.
Track if you want with Tony Hills. Really like what kind of genre it is, because the beats, you don't hear the beats coming
I know the struggle's heavy, find shelter in these arms. Your revolution ready with strength inside your heart. Even the strongest soldier must lay and burden down, 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 down. I'll kiss the pain away, wipe sweat from upon your brow. You're not from easy street, the road you travel's rough. I know, even the softest heart can transform into stone. And I know, although the sun is shining, the world can be so cold, so cold. All of the odds against you stack before your board. They wish to kill your dreams, afraid of God's true force.
My dude on guitar, he did that in there.
And you recorded that guitar here, right?
Yeah.
And you recorded the vocals for all these tracks here as well?
Yeah, you can see making of that beat on YouTube actually. If you look it up, the beat's called Decisions, and I think it's called Making of Decisions. You'll see dude playing guitar, us doing the strings on the key. Yeah, I record people here. This is Flatline Studios. I say I probably do most of the heavyweights in the town. I'm just trying to get as many people over as I can because I put as much effort into their music as it needs. Because I notice some of these other studios that cats go to, like, a disservice is being done to them. They're spending their money on studio time and they're not getting 100% effort from the engineer. And I learned that from going to studio sessions with rappers where I was producing and they were paying to record, and I was seeing things that I could do faster and more efficiently that the engineer just didn't care to put any effort into, whether they didn't know how or they just didn't like the artist's music, so they didn't. The studio time is $30 an hour, and then I mix a track for $100 a track, and obviously any type of a bulk deal can be worked out. Bulk. I mixed Cool Nuts, and the album that me and Cool Nuts are doing, I just finished up. I just finished up mixing T Soprano's record. I just did Double O's record about 4 months ago. He's already halfway into his next record. I did the Kenny Mac record. He's already halfway into his next record. No, that's pretty much just something that I give people something to go home with. I don't necessarily call it mastering. I have started to dabble in mastering, but as far as people want to go home and they want the track to bang. So I put it on there so it slaps, so when they leave it slaps. Basically the way I treat the artists is that, you know, I understand that it costs a lot of money to make music, and you want your money to stretch as far as you can. You know, none of this equipment for me was free, but I had to save my money to pay for it. And I also understand that it costs a lot of money to put out a record. You got to spend all that money on the beats, you got to spend all the money on the recording time, the mixing time, which unfortunately a lot of artists let that go. And that's a big problem, in my opinion, not because of the money issue, but because the fans, they subconsciously know when something doesn't sound right. And they can't be like, oh, that kick is whack, or that hook's not mixed right. But they do know when something doesn't sound professional, and when it does. I would expect around 300 if you hit me up, but you know, it's the same with that. We work packages.
Absolutely.
2 for $5, whatever. My big thing with beats, like if artists around here buy beats from me, even if they don't come record with me, which I don't know why they wouldn't, but if they don't, I want to sit in on the session.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, surprisingly, I butted heads with artists about that, because I don't think they understand the role of like a real producer and how you get in and you collaborate and you bounce ideas off one another, and they really just want to go in and you know, purchase a beat from you. You're just a beat broker to them, so they buy your beat and think you have a nice day. I'm gonna do whatever I want on it, whether you like it or not. But you know what? I spent time creating that track, and yeah, it's cool to get money for it, but that's not just the end of the day. Like, I'm glad I got my money, do whatever you want. That's like a little child, you know? You don't want someone to take your child and just bastardize them and put all types of nonsense and garbage on it. With the independent and underground scene, like, the role of the producer has kind of become blurry in a sense, to where everyone's trying to get some quick money, so they just want to sell their beats and get them off. But really, you know, I've foregone sales because I'm not just about to get rid of my beats on the cheap, and I want to be in there. And there's cats who I won't sell beats to anymore because they never want me to come to the session. The Cool Nuts and Terminill album, Incredible's coming out next month. Northern Lights, Cut 'Em or Pay 'Em is coming out probably in a month or two. A lot of dope projects coming out. The T-Soprano is really hot. I enjoyed mixing that a lot. You're doing your friends a disservice by riding their dick if their product is mediocre. You're supposed to be their real homeboy, so if it's not tight, let them know. When Sonny and I get in the lab, the biggest thing we do is say, what do you think of that? If he says it's garbage, boom, it's the delete key. Gone. We do something else. Because I trust what he says and he trusts what I say. And it's all about making the hottest product for these consumers. We're the creators, and we're trying to get our product out to the... the MySpace is inlights, as in northernlights.groovecartel.com, and right now it's being built, but all the beats are on there. You can just check out the beats. And my Twitter is Terminill, Terminill, is the same as my MySpace too.
Alright, thanks.
Double low price, Northern Lights. It's a double low price. City nights, late night, and some real bright lights. International, like a Vegas Tyson fight. Black dress, real tight, French tip. Aye, you got my attention, my whip, you can step in. Back to my pad, you get beat like a step.